most beautiful. So pretty. Oh, the flag. Yeah, so we have a really good view of Canada. It's gorgeous right now. Oh, sorry.
Please flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. And first up, Greg Martin here. Will be joining Zoom or. You see him join in or wherever because it's great. Get great. Next up, office shop. 40.
I got some folders for you. No.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna go over the first couple things and then I'll turn it over to Dan. The first thing, I think a couple of you are familiar with me and all the stuff, but I kind of got a little bio of that first page. One thing I want to point out, I've covered discounting for 20 years. Been with the office shop for 24. So I got a pretty good idea of things that's happened in the past, how things work. So that's the first page. The second page has a consolidated list of equipment. After one of the meetings, Nikki had asked me to go around and do an inventory because a lot of stuff in the basement and wonder where it comes from. Well, so what I've done is identified each office, the manufacturer, what the model number is, type, and you might not be familiar with the way we do our technology, but if you see that, AIO means all-in-one. Copy stands the desktop. And then within the office, whose desk that piece of equipment is setting. And then there's been copiers, but there was 26 offices that took this initially. Some of it has minimal units. Some offices have quite a few. So if there's any questions on that list, feel free to ask about it.
Is there something in the model number that would tell you what year that machine is?
No, it doesn't, but I can provide that information on most of them.
Here's kind of where I'm at with it. I mean, I know some of this stuff probably needs replaced. Some of it probably needs updated just because it's obsolete or whatever, but we don't know that.
Right.
That we don't do this every day like you guys do. So I'm not a big fan of coming in and just spending a bunch of money, replacing a bunch of stuff that may be, relatively new.
Yeah.
So to me, dates mean a lot.
Yeah.
Like when that machine was purchased, if it's 10 years old, with technology the way it is, it's probably twice obsolete at least,
Well, I
but
know when we did that, when you guys did that bid thing back in 14 and 15, I know the ones that were placed in 15, so those would be 7 years old. So obviously, and those are probably the sharp units. And obviously, yes, those are a concern and should be looked at. The Kyocera copy stars that we placed, most of them are, there could be some pushing 7 years, but we have a replacement schedule, like, if it's the 01 series, say, it's good for parts guaranteed for next year or 2014. So we kind of use what the manufacturer gives us as a guideline. But I could go down and identify these and send an extra supplement so you would have an idea of time.
I guess we've been worried about the parts too. A lot of people say some of it's hard to get parts for these days and the way things are.
And Dan could probably elaborate that. I mean,
We have not really had any issues with the Kyocera for sure, and we also sell and service the Sharp. We had so Sharp in the past, we really haven't seen that. The manufacturers have to offer parts for at least 7 years after you purchase. So we've been in pretty good shape. Sharp's been better than that. They usually last a little bit longer part availability. And as well as Kyocera.
and there's some exceptions that we've seen on the Sharps. I don't want to say that, we can get every Sharp part. There might be something that's in that mix that we can't. But so far, we've been okay on most of those. Because we still have Sharps out, because that used to be one of our ones. And now we're strictly with copy star piece there.
But from what we looked at on the list, there's nothing critical at this point, in our opinion, that needs to be replaced immediately. There's some coming up, yes, and getting bids in place and things like that. So when things do happen, you have the information.
Yeah, so at least from a guideline standpoint, if it's not in the budget now, I know everybody's starting to do budgets, that would be the time to maybe, okay, let's pencil this dollar in, and then the new budget comes out, or one breaks down, you got something to fall back. So, but if you don't have any questions on either of those two things, I'll turn it over to Dan.
So we put a list of different equipment that we have offered. It's hard for us to dictate to you that, hey, this model, you should streamline and go across the whole board with all your offices. It just, every office is so different and your needs are so different. We have noticed as an industry that since COVID, the quantities of papers coming out of these machines have gone down. We're doing things more digitally. So that's definitely something. A lot of these machines we have proposed here are much smaller in nature physically, as well as a lot less expensive than what you've spent in the past. So that's all good news for you. So just to identify them, we labeled them A, B, C, or D, and then we gave you a brochure to give you a physical look at each individual one, as well as all the specs. But those would be the things moving forward we would present to you on a per office visit of what you should get to replace the existing equipment. So, we have a mixture of Kyocera and Brother. We've been a Kyocera dealer for 10 years. And you also will see CopyStar, Kyocera, CopyStar, and CopyStar is a division of Kyocera, so you'll use those terms used combined and intertwined. And then Brother, we've been a dealer for 25 plus years. So they've got a good variety of the desktop type machines.
I guess where I'm at with this is, I don't know about the two commissioners, but where I'm at with it is what the way I thought this was gonna work, or when we were going to visit the office head, the department head, and then make an assessment of what they currently have. Is it broken? Is it outdated? Is it almost outdated? And then we were gonna put together a presentation of this office, we have this machine, we recommend that we replace it with this. This office is in great shape, they don't need anything. And then I thought we were gonna come together with, like, is that what you guys thought we were doing?
I want to know what we need.
Yeah, because here's the deal, I'm not gonna tell the recorder what she needs for a copier or whatever. I'm not gonna go out and because I don't know.
We don't use them, and
Right, I mean, I want to be sure that we've had a discussion with the department heads. And then done an assessment of what they currently have and what their needs might be. And then come to us with the presentation of this is what we recommend. We need to buy 14 machines. We need to buy 3 of these, 2 of these, right on down the line. Because for me, just to look at this, I'm not gonna make any decisions on that because that would just be terrible. Is that helpful?
Yes.
Well, and I can almost say, I'm in the buildings, the offices a lot. I really don't foresee without absolutely anything really needs to be replaced now. If there's a service issue going on, yes, maybe, but
So how far out do you want us to project?
I guess one of my big questions, say we have one just completely laid down, what's the availability that you guys have to replace? You know, do you have 5 sitting at your place, or is it gonna be 2 weeks, 2 months?
Yeah, most everything we have is 30 days. We'll have in place.
But, and the other thing, if we don't have it in stock, I mean, we can have a loaner out within 2 to 4 hours, so that office
That's what we need to know.
will not be dinged. I guarantee you it will not be.
We just want to make sure we don't have something that's going to be down for, extended
Right.
period.
And then the big reason is we're even having this discussion is it seems like this comes up either every year, or every day at budget time. Because the council pretty much wants everything, nailed down.
Right.
And the copier for, some of them $4,000 or $5,000 copiers here that we bought in the past. That's kind of a big deal, for somebody's budget, if they didn't budget for it. So that's kind of, I think, why it came up at this time. So I definitely would tell you, a year out, but since we don't want to do this every year, I'd say 2 years out.
Okay.
It's kind of,
We'll revisit that and give you a better spreadsheet. So,
We do, we'll have to do that.
yeah, but as far as us just saying, oh, we want to order 5 of these for what,
yeah, that's not.
I'm not gonna vote on that. I
It's
don't know enough about it to do that.
Okay.
All right. Cool, thank you. Hey, I'm gonna ask if you guys don't mind, I have like a hearing issue, the sideline conversation. To me, I'm having a first time hearing, so if we can. Don't want to be rude, it's me and my hearing, so. Thank you.
Any other
Thank you.
questions, please?
Thank you.
So I'll get you dates on some of these, and then we'll,
Talk with the department heads, do an assessment, and then if you see that we've got a problem somewhere. I mean, basically, from what I'm hearing from you now, you're saying, you take no action, you put nothing in the budget for any department for the next year.
I would say it wouldn't be hurt to have something in the budget, just in case. But looking at it now, I don't, I don't see any issues.
The problem
But
with
that
that,
doesn't mean.
the
it
problem
isn't
with that,
going up
is
too
the
much.
feedback that I've got from the council and from the department heads is, okay, we put it in our budget. That we're gonna replace this copier. And then they give us the money to do that, and then we don't do it. And then that money gets spent on something else or whatever, and then next year, they put that on the budget again. So you kind of gotta know, are we gonna do it or are we not? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for your time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for your- Next up, Sherry Hewitt.
I apologize. And they have it in the package. Oh, primary. All I had to do was the actual dollar amounts. So first of all, I appreciate the opportunity to come talk with you all, and I have all good news. Just a little bit of background.
You might be in the wrong meeting.
A little bit of background. The state put out an opportunity for grants early in the year, not much notice, a couple weeks, and said, hey, from a community collaboration standpoint, we've got dollars and anyone that's interested can apply. So as part of research for some other projects, we were aware of some of the issues that Jennings County has had with substance use through the years and the impact that that's had on overdose deaths. So we had about 2 weeks notice to try and get that grant application in, and I want to call out Charlinda because she did all the hard work. She did the legwork, got all the letters of support, and we applied for that grant on behalf of Jennings County, and we actually received that grant funding. So the work plan in that grant was to hire a full-time person to work here in Jennings County and to do an assessment at the community level of what the needs are related to substance use. So in the meantime, what we've done, we found a permanent home for that position. The hospital has agreed to fund that position. We're passing the dollars to them. And that person's sole responsibility will be to talk with people and pull together a plan, a recommendation about substance use services here in Jennings County going forward. The other piece of that was that we knew that the community would be getting the opioid dollar settlement. So in terms of where Jennings County is, you'll be getting around $1 million over the next 18 years as a settlement for all of the issues that have come up in the community related to substance use. A good portion of that will be coming to you in 2022. So what my purpose here today is to, number one, let you know that you do have boots on the ground. There is a position allocated full-time here to help you gather whatever information that you might need to decide how best to spend that money. Now, the state put restrictions, which you may or may not know. You've got 100% of your settlement. 85% of that has to go to specific programs that they've approved and said, these are the things that you should be doing. They want to focus on 5 areas. 1, we want to save lives. 2, they want to use programs that have proven to be successful in other communities. 3, they want you to invest heavily in youth prevention with the goal of trying at some point to lessen the substance use within your community. Make sure that it's equitable from a racial standpoint. And then last, they want to make sure that you have a fair and transparent process on how you spend the funds. So the reason I'm here today, once again, is to say we have that position. I met with the council on Tuesday evening. They were going to talk with you all about some type of a joint meeting going forward to get information from the person that's going to be pulling all of that together so that you're aware of what the information is and what they're finding. So before I say anything else, questions for me? Is there anything specific that you would like? Any questions I can answer about the settlement? And I have limited knowledge. Most of what we have is in this packet that you've got already.
Mine's more of a statement that
Yeah,
with what you're talking about combined with our opioid settlement, I just want to be sure that there's not a redundancy in services.
100%.
So Alex hasn't given us an update on where we were with that in quite some time, so we're gonna get money. So there's a good update.
I can provide more of an update later, but we're gonna get some, a good chunk of money from the state yet this year. And as Sherry said, 85% of that has to be encumbered or used for limited purposes to treat or to affect substance use disorder, the opioid crisis, and the 15% of that is sort of counted. And the amounts can go up because there are more settlements that are forthcoming. So we don't have any yet.
Also, the state is putting a process in place that counties and municipalities can actually apply for matching funds from them. If you have a program that you want to implement and you don't have enough dollars, then they can provide matching funds also. So I think we know we're at the very beginning, things may change, but at least you've got a resource now that's already funded through this other grant to help you at least gather the information that you need. The council on Tuesday evening also asked us to meet with North Vernon and Vernon and see if they would be willing to pool their funds and everyone work together on deciding how the money would be spent. So we will pursue that also to see if they're willing. So
So do you have a person in mind that is already going to fill the job?
we're
You don't give me a name, but yes or no would be.
we do not yet have a person in mind, but we have several people that we're interviewing. Charlotte is involved in that. Christina Grant, who is the administrator of the hospital, because it will be a St. Vincent. Jennings employee and myself will all 3 be involved in that.
So saying, they're really the ones that make the decision then.
On the hire.
Yeah.
Well, I think we all will. Christine has been very willing to take input on that. And the reason that the position seemed to fit there was, it's not something that Bartholomew County needs to manage. It needs to be here within the community. And St. Vincent Jennings deals with the most, the issues that impact life or death because of people coming in and overdoses. So in looking to trying to decide where to house that position permanently, it seemed to make sense. The other thing is that they do have a corporate office that provides support on grants and things like that. So there's an opportunity to look for these additional funds going forward. And it seems to fit well there.
The only thing that worries me about that is you basically have us with the funds that we're probably going to co-mingle. And then you're gonna have a private entity that's over kind of the person that is spending the money. So I'm worried about in the future, there possibly being some turmoil. Like, let's say, for instance, we're the ones with the money that we're gonna be dishing out to the program, but let's say we don't like the person that,
You don't agree with that?
we don't agree with the stuff that, you know, the way they're handling the money or the programs that they've implemented. Or we think that they're basically drawing a paycheck and they're really not doing anything as far as helping with the opioid crisis
Well,
or
that
whatever.
would be a problem.
So then now you start to have, well, that money comes from us, and then there's all of a sudden we're butting heads. So
So,
I'm just gonna warn you ahead of time, because I've seen this before, where when you co-mingle, it always sounds like a great idea. Until you get 4 different people thinking 4 different ways, and then it usually blows up in your face,
sure,
which I'm sure you follow that, but.
yes. Well, that's ultimately your decision. What you should have in your packet that I brought the other night that we didn't spend any time on. Part of what ASAP is doing in kind of our consultative role is providing access to what seems to have worked well in Bartholomew County. And Bartholomew County has a local income tax, and it's kind of that exact same thing. Well, how do you decide how to spend that money? Because everybody's got their own opinion. So they put a process in place, a public funding council, and anybody who wanted to request, anyone who wants to request funds has to go through that council. And then that substance abuse council makes recommendations to the commissioners as in the city and county councils as to how money should be spent. So that there's always a level of the councils and the commissioners are the ultimate decision makers in what's done and how it's spent. So if you want to look at some process like that, then we're more than happy. The other thing that we were bringing is if you would like to speak with the mayor or any of the county commissioners up there to see how that's worked, we can arrange some things. But I understand your point, and that's why Bartholomew County put a process. And there's nothing to stop you from doing that.
I think that's probably the way we.
You would feel better with that, okay? We can help make some recommendations and you all can decide. We do see this as a long-term commitment when you're talking about youth prevention to impact anything permanently. Got to start with the kids while at the same time you're dealing with the adults that are already in crisis. So that's why there's a focus on youth here. There are also additional dollars. There are dollars that are called drug-free community dollars that we can apply for, that you can apply for to help fund some of these services going forward. And having your opioid settlement dollars that can count as your match funds that some of these need. So the very good news is there's been so much focus on opioids that the dollars are out there, and making sure that as a community and a county, you have resources and information and ways to understand what's coming down the pipe so that you can get in on the ones that make sense in your community. Okay. Any other questions? Nice to meet you, Alex. Alex and I talked a couple times on the phone. All right. Oh, yes, go ahead.
So Charlotte Evans, and I'm currently coordinating the LCC in our community, which is a local coordinating council, not the one that you may have thought about with the food drives and things, but it's through the state of Indiana. It's Indiana Criminal Justice Institute. Every community has an LCC. Ours is called the Jennings County Drug and Alcohol Task Force. So that entity is already in place through the county. And the county also has in place something called the Client Consultation Board. We're in Region 9, and our LCC and our Client Consultation Board are one and the same. So every other month, we meet as the client consultation board, then every other month, we're the LCC, so we're not duplicates, we're not asking people to attend 2 different meetings or 3 different meetings. The idea is it's open to the stakeholders of our community. So the plan would be to try to make sure that we do not duplicate, like there are already vehicles in place that are tasked with prevention, intervention, the CCD, for instance, treatment. Yeah, so those entities are already in place, and it's an open invitation to the stakeholders of this community to participate with those, those existing groups. And either it is the Department of Health that is overseeing that, or it's the Indiana Criminal Justice Institute at the state level that oversees those 2 entities. And then they're managed by regional coordinators. So there are some things already in place that we do not have to reinvent or create another task force or another group, because the coordination of those 2 entities, basically, I'm resigning. I'm not going to continue to coordinate when we have a coordinator with a paid position, a full-time paid position. I can't teach middle school full-time and run a nonprofit full-time and run the coordinator's position if there's already going to be someone in our community devoted to those efforts. It just doesn't make sense to me. So the other thing that's important to keep note of, all the grants that we are eligible for require stakeholder involvement from multiple sectors. It's net, for the most part, you will not receive funds. And I've been writing a bunch of grants here in the last few years, but basically they want to see collaboration, coordination, stakeholder involvement from government, education, law enforcement. I mean, that's just, they just don't want it. So the fact that we have money without those strings attached is fairly unique when it's this type of settlement. Because again, normally when it comes to, for instance, the drug-free communities grant, it's 12 sectors. You have to show that you have involvement. Yeah, mandatory involvement from 12 different entities from different domains in your community to get, it's a $250,000 grant that we would be matching, but we have matching funds now. So it's actually really amazing. We've been so under capacity, whether you through COVID times or whatnot. There's a very perfect storm type of situation in our community where we just have been very much under capacity and without the leadership needed to drive this forward. But this is pretty amazing that all this has come together at the exact same time. So I am absolutely over the moon about these opportunities, but I just don't want us to feel like we have to do more, or reinvent, or come up with, some other meetings to attend or whatnot, because luckily there are structures already in place. There are groups already in place. We have a board at the LCC. We have, things going on there, and same thing with the CCB, the confidential communication. So that's the good news, is that we wouldn't really have to do a whole lot to make sure the dollars are taken care
You don't have to decide tomorrow how to
Yeah.
spend your money. Got time to think about it and make sure that it's what makes sense
of.
from your office.
Right.
perspective.
Questions?
Thank you all for what you do.
Right.
I realize sometimes you feel like you're probably underappreciated, but you're technically not.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.
They have a comment out there in regards to board flash.
Pretty cool. Different. Okay.
So how do I respond to that?
Nate's not on.
Okay, moving right along. Next up, Dave Turner.
Dave was at a conference, on Tuesday. I don't know if he's still there or not. I have no idea what he's wanting to discuss on vehicles.
We'll skip him, and in his place, I saw Greg come in, so Greg will circle back around to you.
I figured that'd be last weekend. So I emailed everybody on council and commissioners on 8/1 in anticipation that the plan for Eagle Lake Park would be approved. They were told the paperwork had been filled out. The email included the estimates. The file was too large to go past my server. I do have those plans. Basically, the next Monday, the plans were approved. And the engineers wanted me to sit down with them and go through the items. Of course, the budget estimates are a little bit high, well, significantly higher relative to the bond. But I wanted to make sure I had somebody else other than myself sit down with the engineers. And so Howard came and we went through line items of the plans. And so that way he would understand exactly the scope of the project a little bit better than hearing it secondhand from me. And being on Tuesday, we got on the agenda Tuesday night. We addressed this to the county council. We talked about the estimates, and they're in favor of going forward. Ultimately, I'm here to keep you in the loop. So relative to the bond, we've done things incrementally. I believe this is the fourth time I've came relative to the bond. The first three were relative to payments. So basically, to keep you in the loop and to just to keep the project going forward. So there's nothing like procedural you have to make, I don't think. I think that we may want to look at our strategy too. So ultimately, we just want to bid. We're not grandfathered in to accept the bid, obviously. So the engineers want to bid that out, and roughly a month turnaround. That's what's from the front. 2 letters of approval. The septic is approved in a different format than the rest of the campground. And then the plans, of course, the plans on 8.5 by 11 are super hard to read. That's why I wanted to send it a digital copy. I can put the digital copy in the Dropbox if people need. I can actually have a larger printouts too, if you guys are interested. So I have one hard copy, large printout on my office.
Greg, I still have those on my computer too, so if anybody needs them, I can just email them out.
Definitely when you're looking at plans on 8.5 by 11, it's pretty hard to read. It's hard enough without even with reader. So the estimates are estimates. Often engineers underestimate as far as like the field, the way the economy is now, it's probably not the best time for any bids to be let.
That's probably correct.
Not the best time. And ultimately, the council, they're aware of the estimates, they're aware of the bond. They're amongst themselves, I think they are studying potential additional funding. So to be prepared in case that your estimates are actually correct.
From what we've seen in the past, it's probably not high enough.
Above and beyond letting the project out for bids, ultimately we need to figure out how we're going to receive those bids. It's a little complicated, and personally, I don't know procedurally the best way to proceed. So in general, for the department, the projects are approved by the park board. Relative to bond, you guys are approving those funds. And then if there's additional funding that's needed by the council, that would have to be approved by the council. So what I'm envisioning is we set out bids roughly a month. I had planned to be on vacation. I think I can come back a day early perhaps. But perhaps I think you would want to open the bids maybe in a commissioner or executive meeting and have, I'm not quite for sure if we open it on one meeting, we got a series of 2 other meetings to go through. So I think maybe think about that, the best way to proceed on opening the bid. Of course, that'll have to figure that out in short order because they'll put that in the advertising. Do you have an opinion on that or?
Not in an executive meeting.
Typically, the way we do it for our other bids is we open the bids, acknowledge and open the bids in the meeting, and then take it under advisement. Then we could have like a joint meeting as the under advisement where we, oh man, we can't afford this part of it, and we kind of strike that off, have like I call it a workstation, basically.
Yeah,
That's typically how we would do it, but part of the legality law, I would leave that to you.
I would put a bid open date of September 22nd at 9 o'clock. That'll be I'll be 3 commissioner meetings from now.
That was the day I was assuming.
Yeah, that would be my recommendation, and then
What was it?
procedurally, you make a fair point about 3 different boards being involved. So I think put in the advertisement September 22nd, 9, bids must be submitted to the auditor's office by 9 o'clock that morning. And then open them in a public meeting, take them under advisement and forward later. Now, do you have an engineer that's gonna look at these bids?
Yeah, ROM, Richard
So
Moore.
RLM's gonna look at these bids and make a recommendation.
So we'll set it for 22nd, 9 AM, and then subsequently, if we need to have a executive meeting with all 3 parties. I think that answers my question.
I'm good, man.
Very good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Sorry. I didn't look at that. Look at the old again.
It worked out. Okay, Dave Turner still didn't come in, right? Okay, next up, HWC.
Hi, my name is Ryan Rhodes. Tim couldn't be here today, so I'm presenting on his behalf. I have the bid recommendations for the Jennings County 4-H Fairgrounds project. So we received 4 bids for the project from Lycans Construction, Dave O'Mara, Chute Excavation, and Mitchell and Stark. The apparent low bidder is shooting on all combinations of the bid. So the way we bid it out was the potable water as a separate thing, and then 3 different divisions for the stormwater. Division 1 was the restroom area, and then kind of going all the way out to the outlet. Division 2 was the racetrack area, and Division 3 was the area on the west side of the site, so by the park building there. So the base bid then is Division 1 in the potable water. So you can see that Shooty was the low bidder on that. Then you have options to add Division 2, Division 3, or Division 2 and Division 3. And they were the low bidder on all 4 combinations of that bid. So their final price for all 3 divisions of work and the potable water was $854,225.50. HWC Engineering has worked with Shooty in the past, not in our water resources group, but in our transportation group and the site group. So they typically do more site work. So I think that's why you're seeing them as a lower number. The other companies, I'd say, would do more typical municipality work, you know, laying water lines, storm line on the streets, and things like that. So we had good experience with Shooty, and
they've done good quality work, and I believe with their equipment and their expertise, they're qualified to perform the work. Their bid was in order. They had all the required documents within the bid. So we do recommend that the bid be awarded to Trudy Excavation. So the next steps would be, if you would like to award all three divisions or any combination thereof, would be to notify Trudy that they are going to get the award, and then we set up a pre-construction meeting to execute contract documents.
Do you have a timeline?
They're ready to get started, it sounds like. They've asked a few times when we would expect them to award it. And I let them know that I was going to make this recommendation at this meeting, and shortly thereafter, we would get the pre-construction meeting going. They do have a long timeline on this project. They have until March to complete the work. So I think that's also why you're seeing some lower bids in this particular situation, because we let them go through that winter time frame, which usually they're having low work during that time.
You hit me with a humongous surprise.
How's that?
$500,000 less than engineer's estimate.
That's pretty impressive.
That never happened.
We did not expect that.
Almost like, is this too good to be true? Type of thing.
Yeah.
Did you look at this, Jim? I mean, you deal with the fairgrounds constantly, is that you haven't seen it?
Did you?
I've seen the plans.
So the bid tab, so what they did on each item is on the large 11 by 17 sheets. But yeah, I would agree that I was surprised that their bid was so low, especially that they beat out O'Mara, who was very close to the project. Shooties in Greensburg, and so that's actually where most of the work for us is over in Batesville. We are the city engineer there.
So basically, to break this down for anybody that doesn't get it, we were completely prepared to have to strike items off because they were going to be out of the budget.
Yes.
But they actually came in as a total so far under what we were figuring that there's really no need to strike any of it off.
Yeah, I thought we wasn't going on with this,
Yeah,
way lower than I was expecting,
yeah, that never happens, so cool.
especially here lately. It hasn't.
Am I in the right meeting? Because this is like quite a early meeting.
Wow.
Yeah, and you would expect, especially with the way gas prices are in the economy, that they would be even higher than what we had expected, because our bids or our estimates are based off of previous projects, right? And we've only had a couple actually going to construction this year, so it's really using last year's numbers, which obviously wouldn't be that great for this year. So
Right.
I'm very encouraged that they came in the way they did.
So is there any further discussion, or do I have a motion to go ahead and approve shooting excavation for the project?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll say it.
Make it unanimous.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you not going to discuss the courthouse window?
No, I do not have the courthouse window proposal. I'm sorry about that. Tim did not let me know about that. I think he'll have it next meeting. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask him about that.
You do think he's going to skate out of here without me asking about that?
I meant to mention it as
You
soon
got
as I
that
got
deer in
it.
the headlight. So
I know.
We hope it's the same as this one.
I would hope so as well.
You want to make a bet?
No, it'd probably double.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Good to see you.
Exactly. I hope they don't make up on what we said.
Next up, Nikki.
At the last meeting, Tina Branson had, there was some miscommunication between she and I, and she needed to attend a conference. You voted on it in the meeting, you didn't have the form, so I have that for you to sign today. was previously agreed upon. What I just handed you is a travel request for the probation officers. They have their annual fall conference coming up September 7th, 8th, and 9th at French Lick. The cost of this conference, registration, travel accommodations, all of that will be paid out of adult probation user fees.
We're gonna let all of them go to a conference together.
I'm not sure we can let Travis go to a casino.
You let me know what's approved and who's not. So I'm asking you
Put
to
a check
approve,
mark next to
approve
his
their
name.
travel request for this conference.
And they're paying for it out of probation user fees, correct?
Correct.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Unanimous.
So here, both of the travel, Christina's from last time, and Travis, if you'll sign those.
Put a question mark next to his name when you get the bank thing.
And the last thing I have is Amy Thompson in the clerk's office is asking to fill an already funded position for a deputy clerk position in her office. But will be no change to the budget, but would like to, in light of election coming up, would like to start interviewing and get somebody hired for that spot.
Any discussion or motion approved?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll say.
Unanimous.
Thank you very much.
One thing before you run off. It's budget time. Have you started working on any numbers for us to be able to figure out what we need to budget for insurance and the clinic?
I have, they don't have those numbers, but I am working on that.
Just something rough, but estimate high. Just, I don't want to be surprised the other way.
Okay.
Thank you. Next up, Jim Reeves.
I would like to have Kathy come up with it. No, you got the letter. Original estimate was about 2, 3. And 2, 8.
You supposed to bring good news, not bad news. You
This is, that's me all day. NDOT will fund this project at 100%.
Oh, that's even better.
$2,840,907. Federal dollars, the capital.
Let's say it was 568,000.
What is with this day? That's awesome.
I don't really know what to say other than thank you for doing it.
Truly dumb luck. Truly dumb luck when you count small, but hey, dumb luck is accepted, right?
We'll take that anytime.
Exactly. Awesome.
This project should have been delivered 2 years ago. Didn't meet the letting, kept having problems, dragging, and I was ready to pull it yesterday, asked Jim, there's a permit issue. But after consulting the area engineer, we went ahead and did it. There happened to be $5.2 million left on the table from 22, because of the new transportation bill. They allowed us to carry over those 100% bridge funds in September from last year, and this happens to be the first bridge on this letting. So to spend down those funds by next month, the county's recipients 100% federal funds. So, call it what you want.
You available for lunch? Maybe we can take out our lunch.
I wasn't even coming today. Jim called me this morning at 8:15 and invited me.
Good deal. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
So you just have to sign the letter. Let Jim know that in.
Bring that letter forward. I can't sign it fast enough.
Does he sign it or do I?
You can sign it if they approve it. I
I'll
guess.
get it signed. Tuesday.
Motion to approve. Quickly. No, seriously, who makes the motion?
I'll second.
Unanimous. There you go.
Now it's time to cost you.
Do what?
Now it's time to cost you.
Uh-oh.
We got to go see a consultant contract.
You should have went first.
No, we have, we'll be gonna get news from that one, and then the week that's next one through, I think.
That's right away.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. It's for right away on 46 instance. Which is the one you had last meeting. That had errors on.
The one they didn't have the right road number on it.
He's looked at it, good to go, 4 copies.
I think everything was good except that one.
Do we need to make a motion to sign these or just sign them?
I'll make a motion that son.
Yes. Dave Turner was trying to call me, so I don't know if, did it matter the blue or white case on me?
Uniquely. Yeah.
If I already signed one of them in black, can that just be our copy, it's okay? Or do you want me to sign blue above it?
Yeah, we probably keep it out.
That's only three, right?
Said forward, didn't it?
Yeah, you said four, but that was only three. Let's put the two stuff together.
They don't feel like playing six.
So do you need four
I'll
or?
make a copy and send it to you.
Okay.
So we need to re-sign that one in blue there.
Also with that. The agreement for the CCMG paving with All Star. Should be 4 of those there. Oh, those just need to.
Just mine?
Oh,
There's those, yeah.
Did they give you any kind of time schedule when they talked about starting again?
they're ready anytime. Next thing's the agreement or the notice to proceed. It says August 25th for a start date. They was talking 22nd. This is.
Here you
Notice to proceed.
There you go.
I believe that's all.
All right. Thank you much. Next up, WTH. Kitty, are you just presenting this?
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
WTH, it's just the contract that we do, I think they contract with Core Logic each year so that they can send a file back and forth to GIS. Is that correct, Alan? I send it to Alan's review.
We do a lot of these every year. I don't know if we do this one every year or not. but
I think we do.
I think I remember that one last
we may
year.
agree. Yeah, we do these kind of contracts a lot. I think we did all the time. With the charity,
Do they pay us for that?
Yeah. $250.
That's the one we did before. I mean. So you good with it? Okay. Motion to approve,
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second.
unanimous. So next up on the things to discuss, we have the three things that we tabled 2 weeks ago as far as budget requests for driver license, the senior center, and the council for domestic violence. So did the council give us any indication as far as,
It's a 3.5% increase. As long as you keep your budget within that, and you do not have to go before them. Sitting here, I've had a thought with all of this. Is this gonna, are the nonprofits, would any of that, be eligible for any of those funds or they have? Because the addiction abuse that you're seeing out there,
I think that's a far stretch.
I don't think so. I worked in nonprofit for so long.
The senior center, how would you relate the senior
Well,
center?
senior center- that would be a stretch, I think, but at the same time, I don't know, you need to look at those numbers to see what that population is with the addictions. I don't know, that's for them, I've been out of it too long. But I don't know, I just think we need to keep an open mind about it, like the coordinating council, I know for a fact. They deal with a lot of fault of addiction.
I agree with what you're saying there. I just don't see how you would relate it to
Domestic violence.
domestic violence. I think it would, I think it's possible to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe, but the other two, I don't think.
I don't know about private teams, or yeah, I think you have to look at those stats.
So basically, you're telling me then that according to the council's point of view, that we would take what we gave them last year and we could only increase what we give them this year by 3.5%?
Correct.
Or could we change our budget in other areas so that our overall total budget doesn't increase by 1%?
Yes. I looked at it last night, I was here late, I was looking at it. Sorry, Nikki, I was emailing her. But I think there's a possibility, but I think I'd like to sit down with you guys, look at that, and it's not my budget, but I'd like you guys to look at that.
I just want to kind of give them a basically double on some of them.
I think whatever we do, we need to do it the same for all three, and increase them all three
The same amounts.
the same amount. But I agree with you, I think anytime you try to double something, it's gonna, I mean, we kind of did do it with,
Some of these, we
with B Murphy, just because she wasn't really able to keep the doors open.
yeah, she can function.
Yeah.
But some of these, we give increases. Last year, they was only like 5,000 and went to 7,500.
Yeah.
You think about doing that 2,500 each one of them?
I think 2,500 would do it, but the question I have is, I wonder if we should wait one more meeting, have that, have like a, what Kitty's talking about, and review our actual budget that we're gonna turn into the council and see if there's somewhere else that we can cut so that we could give these more, and then make our decision at the next meeting on that. Or,
I mean, I just don't want to spend money we don't have.
or you could.
They're just gonna deny it if we do.
Well, we've been back to the drawing board before, so.
I say we just table it till we have more time to review it.
We want to, I mean, I don't really like tabling things twice, but I want to give them the maximum amount that we can give them. But I don't want to promise them something and then not be able to deliver either. All right, you want to make that motion then?
I'll make a motion to table till next meeting.
I'll second. Unanimous. Kitty, call me whenever you're available and come in and look at that budget and see if we can figure something out.
Okay.
It's 3.5%. Alex, do your quick math, 3.5% is not gonna be, I mean,
That's not,
3.5% of 10,000
$350.
So
that's almost a slap in the face. I don't wanna do that.
I think we'll have to try to find somewhere to budget the money from somewhere else.
Well, here,
It's 3.5% of your overall budget.
3.5% of our overall, well,
Then
but
I did the math and it's something that up.
I was gonna say like a health insurance, like if we had a good year with health insurance, that would make a humongous.
Don't count on me.
Don't read my good dad.
Don't count on me for that.
I don't think we're gonna have a big liability here,
No, I don't think so neither.
right, Nikki? Probably not gonna have good liability insurance here either.
I can say that to Ethel, no.
I would anticipate more increases.
I'm sorry. I told you I wasn't going to make
Okay.
I looked at the numbers, so she had said 15%, so I tallied those numbers in last night and, yeah, not there.
Okay, well, we'll just have to review it. So before we get on to the really boring stuff, does anybody in the crowd have anything? John, go ahead.
This is just my information. Myself and Jeff Walker attended the regional planning meeting yesterday. And as often is the case, they had guest speakers. And yesterday, their guest speakers were from the Indiana Office of Technology. I know that's your favorite thing to talk about.
Yeah.
But they were outlining just some of the services that they provide as, you know, cybersecurity training, things like that, that they offer to the counties to do. Also, I think we always seem to have a lot of office holders that are coming in, needing new programs or updates. This is another means that they can
maybe look at those programs and see if it's, fits better with the state or other counties are also using. They did say something about, they were fairly new, I don't know how long they've actually been in existence. But they said that there was a law passed either a year or two ago about incident reporting. Like if you have ransomware, malware coming on your system or hacking into the email, things like that. And those are supposed to be reported to me. So they can kind of keep track and let the state legislature kind of know how many incidents we're having. So I didn't know if we actually had a person to report that to them or not. Because they talk about there's supposed to be like one person to do that.
My guess would be that that would probably fall under name.
That's what I would assume.
And also they talked about cybersecurity insurance, which I think county already has. Is that correct?
Yes.
But anyway, I just thought I'd let you know about that. That's all.
They wore us out on that subject.
So,
Do you have, that might be something to, if you have like an extra copy of that, to give it to Kitty,
I can get it.
if you don't mind, because we probably need to get Nate included in that, or at least for the reporting part of it. And I like your idea about office holders coming forward and asking for new technology. If that's something that they vet those programs or whatever, that would definitely be helpful.
Yeah, this isn't anything that's mandatory except for reporting things.
Right. Is that a free service or do they charge?
Most of it is free, but they call. There are certain things that they do charge for. He had a few things, but I just figured it'd be better for whoever's contacting, instead of me trying to write down all of this yesterday.
Yep, sounds good. Appreciate you attending that meeting too.
I wanted to introduce you all to Owen Miller, our security officer up here, so.
I was already giving him a hard time to hear it.
I told him we should have got him a better chair. He said, "This is too long."
He's doing a fine job. Just wanted you all to know who he is. He's very good.
Thank you. Did anyone else have anything? Amy, did you get anywhere with the polling places? Has anyone done anything?
Well, I did sit down and look at some things. And of course, we decided we don't want to just move one. I am gonna be out, so I'm gonna meet with my election board. I spoke with them. We are looking at, because when we install the full pads, it takes longer per location because you have to make sure they're working, et cetera. So I did a little, kind of run a few little different scenarios of how to do that, to divide my delivery into 4 regions. Because otherwise I will be out until 1 a.m. and then back to the courthouse at 4 a.m. It's a long day, and then you're there till midnight, and then you're there the next day picking up. If I can divide those deliveries up, I think what we're thinking is utilizing all of the locations. I want to speak to the actual service that comes with my full pads to know what exactly to expect from those that are not online. Because they're going to be intermittent. That's all there is to it from those areas. And I really know what to expect. We will have a good idea in the primary of what did happen when they're online, what we'll expect when they're intermittent or offline, and what we have to do as a type of a courier to make sure that they get the information they're needed to update what we would have to do to update them out there. And go ahead and try to utilize all the locations, then go from there. It's going to cost me a bit extra. I've been looking at my current budget to see if I can pull from it, move from it to add delivery for that. I think I can. I do know Indiana code says the commissioners shall provide transportation for these, so I'm doing the best I can, if that will help us to.
The only reason I'm asking is I was gonna lose the missing deadline. So
We're not missing the deadline.
if you still got, if
And it will help us know in moving forward to the presidential, we'll have a city election between midline and presidential. That way we can make a very informed decision moving into that and stick with the program.
that's what we,
Sounds to me like that makes the most sense of all of this.
yeah, I agree. Okay, thank you. Anybody else have anything? Do I have a motion to approve prior minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve prior minutes.
Second. Unanimous? And do I have a motion to sign payroll claim?
I'll make a motion, sign payroll and claim.
I said,
Unanimous.
Oh,
Am I forgetting anything?
that's. Well, I know all of that, I just now thought of it.
But line right here.
Basically, from what I got from Greg, he's not ready for us to approve that yet. So
This way,
I don't think you really even need to bring it up because all you're gonna do is table it, so.
yeah, all right, we didn't bring it up. Lost it on the table. I think she gave you a sign. I'm not saying that.
Okay, well,
Sure.
it might be prudent for the commissioners to schedule an executive session. It doesn't have to be this month, but, for a variety of issues. No one commissioner who wants to do that. Usually in the past, we would do them prior to our 6:30 meeting. So I don't know when the commissioners would want to do that, but I think it would be prudent to have one sometime within the next month. At the convenience of the commissioner's calendar.
Do you have to lose the time or can you put it, can we have it immediately following the end of the next commissioner meeting?
I think he was to having, we put a time or immediately following the meeting, whichever is later. So I had put 10 o'clock on the notice or following, immediately following the meeting.
Okay, we do that then.
Thanks again, Kathy. Okay, it's time to do this already. Pretty sure that's something like your time for them to came up with.
You can sign that one on your phone.
Yeah, so we will use that's correct. Never turn and get that, but you know, it was rare, something about $30, $4,500. There's something right there, one, like that, what I would do. Make sure I want that. It's for them today, okay.
Be bad without using it, and get better.
I just believe that in the numbers, it's not that well, raw.
Eddie, do they need to sign 2 copies of those?
I believe so.
They're doing it.
But I'm not gonna- Carol.
Okay.
Nope. I know. Tell the judges to back off your arm from you.
But yeah, you're the ticket.
Well, before the hearing, it was Judge Smith, or before this was Judge Smith. Next is Judge Warren. So,
So you want her to,
no. Nellie, am I gonna have a tax sale petition to file in court next week? You make sure I get that next week. Thank you.
All of these are included in this, correct?
Included in one.
The claim
Yeah.
voucher. Okay, because these were like together, but I think I was the one supposed to extra review these. And these are under the box, under the threshold.
Okay.
Anything further? Motion to adjourn,
second,
unanimous.
you need your pen back. You might run into.